Hello everyone! Today I have a full body strength workout for you using only 2 dumbbells. We're going to move through 5 different exercises for 3 sets. There will be a superset embellishment after movement 2 and after movement 5. We're going to start with a single leg deadlift to a bicep curl. So grab those weights, start with the working leg in front and the resting leg staggered back as a kickstand. Lower the dumbbells down, drive through the glutes to lift, and flip the dumbbells to go immediately into a biceps curl. We're going to repeat this for 10 reps on one side before we switch and do 10 reps on the opposite leg. But if you don't quite get to 10 before I do, that's fine. Just repeat as many reps as you can within the allotted time, and make sure you match that same number when we switch legs. We're also going to be curling a lot here, so I'd recommend using a weight a little lighter than you would typically use for a heavy bicep curl. For example, if you usually curl with 20s, I'd drop it down to 15s. And we'll take a quick little rest here before we switch to the other side, get yourself reset, and jumping right into round 2. So the main thing we want to look for here is a nice flat back as you hinge down for that single leg deadlift, then a drive from the glutes to lift up out of that hinge before we isolate the biceps to curl the dumbbells. Keep those elbows right underneath the shoulders as you curl. Hinging at the hips first, and then bending the knee as the dumbbells pass that joint. Keep the shoulders back. It's also helpful to think about pushing down through the heel of the working leg as you lift up out of that hinge. I'd recommend inhaling on the lower and exhaling on the lift and curl. All right, let that go. We're going to take a breather here for about 40 seconds and then do that again. You can find some active movement, stretch a little bit if that feels good. Take a few deep breaths. Regain your energy a little bit. And then we'll start getting ready to return to the first leg. So again, remember to match the amount of reps from side 1 to side 2. If you can fit in a couple more this time around, great. If not, no worries. Focus on the form and again, move at your own pace. Again, we are doing double the amount of curls as deadlifts here, so the arms are going to get tired a little quicker than the legs are. Almost through. Don't let that core relax. And we'll switch sides. Opposite leg, same movement. If your biceps are starting to get really tired here, don't worry, you can drop the dumbbells down a little bit in weight, so either grab a lighter set, or you can drop them completely if you don't have lighter dumbbells, or if those arms are getting really tired. biceps, we're definitely feeling it here. Don't worry, I am working too. All right, let that go. We are done with this movement for the time being. We're going to move into exercise number 2 in about 40 seconds, which is going to be a squat to press. Again, we'll be doing our squat to press for 2 rounds before we superset it with the deadlift to curl. All right, when you're ready, you can grab those dumbbells, start getting set up. We want the weights up at our shoulders, feet about shoulder width apart or a little wider, slight turn out of the toes. Drop your hips down and back for a squat, and then head directly into an overhead press. This is one of the rare times you can use some momentum from the lower body to get the weights up. This is a lower body power movement, though the shoulders are going to get a little tired too. Make sure those dumbbells aren't drifting behind your back, shoot them right up above the shoulders. Again, we're doing 10 reps. If you don't quite hit 10 before I finish, that's fine. Just do as many reps as you can. All right, let that go. We have another 40-second rest. Focus on breathing deep in these rest intervals. Again, you can stretch out any muscles that are feeling a little bit tight or sore. Then we'll grab those weights and head into round 2. All right, grabbing the dumbbells. When you're ready, get them up at your shoulders and repeat. Squat and overhead press. Similar to the deadlift to curl, inhale on the lower, exhale on the lift. Don't forget to brace those abs, especially in your overhead press. Almost there. All right, let that go. My shoulders were definitely feeling that one. We have your 40-second rest, and then we have your superset. So we're going to go back to the deadlift to curl, but this time we're going to do a double leg variation of the deadlift, followed by that bicep curl, same as before. We'll do 10 reps, and then head immediately into your 10 squat to presses. Start getting ready for that deadlift, feet hip width apart, shoulders back. It's taking me a second to get lined up here. And here we go. Inhale on the lower, exhale, lift and curl. Again, we want to break in half at the hips first for a hinge and then add the knee bend as the dumbbells pass those joints. Almost through. Try to keep that nice pace going, but again, slow down if you feel that form starting to slip. All right, time for our superset. Dumbbells come right up to the shoulders, back to that squat press one more time. Getting the heart rate up a little bit here. keep driving from the glutes at the bottom of every single squat. Power all the way up into that overhead press. Again, don't be afraid to use a bit of momentum here. And let that go. All right, well done. We're gonna take a little rest and then move into our next exercise. Exercise number 3 is going to be a reverse lunge plus a bent over row in a combo. So this movement is going to be done for a standard 3 rounds through before we move on to the next, no superset. All right, when you're ready, grab your dumbbells. You're gonna hold them by your sides first. Then step back for a reverse lunge while hinging over the front leg at the same time. Then row the dumbbells back towards the hips for a bent over row, alternating legs. Again, I'm doing 10 total reps here before we rest and repeat. Make sure the dumbbells stay down away from the ears. And again, we really want to pull those weights back towards the hips. If you pull them towards your ribs, you're going to be working your arms more so than the back. And the back is what we're trying to target here in this row. Pushing down through that front heel to come up out of the lunge, and let that relax. 40 seconds of rest, and then we'll repeat. So while you're moving through this reverse lunge and row, make sure that front knee stays behind the front toe. We want the knee to be over the ankle for most people. If you have super long shins, that might not be the case, but majority of the time, that knee should stay back. And we want to keep that back flat as we hinge for the row. Try not to hunch or arch in the spine. All right, we'll grab those dumbbells and get ready for round 2. Here we go. So majority of your weight is going to be in that front leg as you lunge here. As always, we're keeping that core nice and strong. And try to keep your neck long as well and in line with the rest of your spine. Okay, let that relax. Little rest, and we have one more round of that exercise. I love full body exercises like this when I have limited time, but I want to make sure I hit every muscle group effectively. It's also a great way to combine strength and cardio. Okay, grabbing those dumbbells, we'll start round 3. Here we go. Inhale as you step back for the lunge, exhale as you row. Almost through. Then we're going to head to the floor for exercises 4 and 5, which will include that second superset variation. Okay, let those dumbbells go and have a little rest. Excuse me while I run over to check if my camera is still recording. Yay, it was. A few more seconds to catch your breath here. Then we'll head to the floor. So for exercise 4 and 5, the superset variation is going to be a little bit different. Well, honestly, it's going to be a bit more typical. We're just going to repeat 2 exercises back to back, take a rest, and repeat that twice more. Exercise number 1 is going to be a glute bridge plus a chest press, simultaneous. We're going to follow it with a simultaneous pullover and a single leg drop. So, starting with the glute bridge chest press, bring the heels in nice and close to the glutes in semi-supine position, and bring the dumbbells out to about 45 degrees at chest level. Then, when you're ready, we'll push down through the heels, lift the hips as you press the dumbbells up and together for a press. We're going to do this for 10 reps before we head to your single leg drop plus pullover. Make sure you keep your core braced throughout this entire interval. And then we'll head right into that leg drop and pullover. Legs come right above the hips, arms come right above the shoulders, dumbbells together. We'll drop the dumbbells back and overhead as we drop one leg at a time, keeping the arms mostly straight, save for a micro bend, and the legs as straight as possible as well. If your lower back is starting to lift off the floor, bend the knees a little bit more. That'll make it easier on your core. We are working a lot of different muscles here, from the abs to the hips to the quads to the triceps to the chest to the back. Again, I'm doing 10 reps here total, but move at your own pace. Just do as many as you can within this allotted time. This one definitely gets challenging on the upper body, especially if you're using a heavier set of dumbbells. Finish up one more rep. And we'll take a rest. Again, we have about 40 seconds here before we repeat this superset. So this one can get pretty challenging on the shoulders, especially if you're using a heavier dumbbell in the pullover. So don't worry if you have to drop the weights down a little bit. Because we're working in supersets and we're taking relatively short rests, you might be using a little bit of a lighter weight than you would typically in some of these exercises. That's okay. We're getting a lot of great endurance work here, as well as functional strength. Okay, getting ready for round 2. We're going to return to that squat press. Pick up those dumbbells. Here we go. Keep driving down through the heels to lift those glutes up nice and high. And again, try to squeeze in the chest at the bottom of every rep. Use that initial squeeze to push the dumbbells up and together. Mind-muscle connection is always, always key. Okay, heading into that leg drop pullover. Dumbbells come together above the shoulders, legs above the hips. Here we go. If you can bring the dumbbells all the way to tap the floor in the pullover, great, but no pressure. What's most important is that you feel in control of the weight that you are using. So just go as low as you can, still feeling safe. I know my shoulders were really starting to feel it here, especially after we already did squat to press. All right, let that go. Little rest. We have one more superset to move through. So typically I would curl and pull over, etc. with 20s, but again, because we are doing an express format here and working at a lot of supersets, I did use 15s today, and let me tell you, whew, I was working. But this is such a fun format, and I love these movements so much, the workout just flew by. And I hope it's flying by for you too. Okay, start getting set up for that final superset, grabbing the dumbbells for your bridge and press. Here we go. Again, this is the final superset of the day, so make it count. Really push yourself to get those final reps in, keeping good form from start to finish. Don't forget to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And here we go, final set of that leg drop pullover. Let's do this. Man, do those chest presses feel like a breeze compared to these heavy pullovers. So I would normally press with a 25-pound dumbbell, but again, we're doing this challenging superset. So 15s are more than enough when you're heading into these pullovers immediately after. You choose the weight that works for you. Almost through. And let that go. All right, before I let you go for the day, we're gonna finish this workout with one forearm plank. So when you're ready, flip over onto your elbows, step back to your toes, and we'll crunch and hold. Actively pulling in the abdominals, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears, length in the neck. If you wanna make this plank even more challenging, you can walk your toes slightly back and shift your shoulders behind the elbows. That should immediately increase the tension on your abdominals. Just a few more seconds, keep pushing yourself. If you need to drop down to the knees and modify the plank, that's totally fine. Just make sure you're not arching in the lower back. We don't want to hurt our spine. Couple more breaths. And let that relax. All right, everybody, sit those hips back for a child's pose. Take a few breaths, congratulate yourself, because we are done. Don't forget to stretch. Super important to help with our muscle recovery to make sure we're ready for a beautiful full day of movement tomorrow. If you need some help with stretching, I've linked a video in the corner. Otherwise, I'll see you soon.